One of the reasons I booked Tommy Hellfire for AUS Pro was because, frankly, I wanted another seasoned veteran in the back. Tommy has always had my back, and I hoped that his presence would be good for the younger talent in the locker room. I wanted him to come out, guest ringing out an exciting young team in Ben and Breakfast, give a good old rah-rah speech about the future of Australian wrestling. However, I did not expect Tommy to do what he did at my first show.
Let me address a few things at AUS Pro Wrestling. Number one, that would be Ben and Breakfast. Now boys, I don't hate you, I hate what you represent. You're lazy, you're entitled, and you don't take nothing serious. And that brings me to Owen Steadman. Owen Steadman, you might have been their knight in shining armor. Owen Steadman, you might be AUS Pro Wrestling's next big star, but to me, you're a vagabond. To me, you ain't there yet, kid. And on May 31, I'll remind you, Daddy's home.
Tommy, we looked up to you. We were excited to be sharing a locker room with an Australian wrestling legend. What you did to Ben and Breakfast out there was pathetic. I didn't come out to make a statement or to take your spot. All I was doing was defending my friends. But when I went out there, I wasn't defending them from an Australian wrestling legend. No, I was defending them from a has-been grey-beard tyrant. I know this is the biggest match in my career, the PCW National Championship on the line. I know I'm going into this the underdog, but I also know that I do my best work when my back is against the wall. Reaching the brass ring, I absolutely, undisputedly had you, Tommy, and you know it. You know it damn well that on May the 31st at AUS Pro Generations, I'm gonna have you again. I'm gonna be taking home that national gold for Gippsland.
Your AUS Pro Wrestling Generations main event is a singles match scheduled for one fall. And it is for the PCW National Championship. Please welcome the challenger.
Obviously at this time, I'd like to say a massive thank you to PCW for allowing their very prestigious national championship to be defended here tonight. It is Australia's longest running, currently active championship. So to say that this is prestigious would be a massive understatement. And the reason that this match came about, the reason the title is to be on the line, is because Tommy Hellfire, who recently won the title, willingly put it on the line because he wanted to use it as a means to get into Owen Steadman's head. But here comes Owen Steadman, probably one of the leaders of the new young generation coming through, and he's coming to the ring with multi-time Australian champion Andy Rhodes, his trainer, mentor, and friend, who wanted to be here tonight. So yes, AUS Pro has granted him a managerial license for one night only, so that he could be here for what could possibly be the biggest moment in Owen Steadman's very young career.
An incredible opportunity for him to have a shot at the PCW National Championship here at AUS Pro. And as you mentioned, it is an absolute honour from us to have that title defended here. And once again, to speak for myself, it is an honour to have someone like Owen Steadman representing my neck of the woods, my hometown in Gippsland, in Traralgon. It would be my pleasure to sit here alongside yourself and call him the future national champion.
By the way, it is worth mentioning that Owen Steadman does not have a PCW contract. If he wins the championship here tonight, If he wins it tonight, next week he walks into PCW Ignition as champion and will be awarded a contract as a result and will replace Tommy Hellfire in his future match against Orion. But we are getting ahead of ourselves right now because coming to the ring second is the champion, as per tradition, Tommy Hellfire. And you heard the music package at the beginning as to why I brought Tommy into AUS Pro Wrestling. I wanted his experience, I wanted his presence backstage. But sometimes the leopard doesn't change its spots. And Tommy Hellfire is always looking for the opportunity for himself. And so when I asked him to ring announce a bed and breakfast match, he took it as an opportunity to basically backhand the new young generation that was coming into Australian wrestling. Basically, as far as he's concerned, they don't have the heart, they don't have the drive, they don't have the grit that people like Tommy Hellfire and his generation had. And as a result, it brought out Owen Steadman, who came out to defend his friend, but now it's come to this, one-on-one, a symbolic match of generations, and right there, the PCW National Championship, and the man who holds that at the end of this evening could very well be the leader of Australian wrestling, at least in this region of Victoria.
Let's head to the ring for Gemstone with the official start time.
Are thoroughly behind the Gippsland Dragon.
From Melbourne, Victoria, weighing in at 115 kilograms, he's a two-time PCW National Champion, the current PCW National Champion, Tommy Hellfire!
As mentioned, the longest running active title in Australia. Andy, how long has this title been in use?
Basically, about over 20 years. And although that may not sound a huge amount, you've got to understand that here in Australia, promotions come, promotions go. Titles come, titles go. And frankly, that is the championship that has stood the test of time. Obviously, I think the only other title I can think that comes close to that would be the Warzone Championship, which is currently inactive. So as a result, you know, it is important. It is a significant piece of hardware to have around your waist. And for Owen Steadman, for his first championship victory, to be that title at the expense of Tommy Hellfire, that's a statement. That is a huge statement.
Tommy Hellfire, two-time PCW National Champion. I can't even begin to imagine the incredible names, the legacy, as you mentioned, the generations that exist within this title.
Oh, absolutely. Some of your favorites have held that. But tonight, what are your new favorites? The Gippsland Dragon.
Oh, my personal favorite.
Owen Steadman from Gippsland. He's doing it for Gippsland. It's going to be interesting.
Very rarely do I ever get emotionally invested or show any allegiances to the place that I was born. However, as I sit here and I see this, what could be the future of the Victorian, of Australian professional wrestling, I can't help but feel hope and excitement.
So, both men are very similar but also very different. They're both kind of strikers. Owen Steadman, we've seen him with the kicks, we've seen him with the strikes. Tommy Hellfire, he is a brawler at heart. He is a slugger.
And with quite a substantial height advantage over the young
Steadman asking for the hand. A very reasonable request for this huge apprehensive main event. question is, will Tommy Hellfire actually show an ounce of respect to the challenger here tonight?
He was given the opportunity to act respectfully before, chose not to do so, essentially spitting in your face, Andy, the reason that you hired him, the reason you brought him into the team. And once again, continuing to demonstrate that disrespect.
I already knew that was going to happen. I know Tommy far too well. But yeah, it was disappointing. And, you know, the chips have landed as they were. And look, hey, there's a silver lining in every cloud. I've got a PCW National Championship on only my 3rd show here in Ringwood.
And be sure to let us know what you think of this show using that hashtag OzGenerations on your social media of choice. We'd love to know what you think of this incredible card or
Colorado
this main event as it gets underway.
Hellfire forcing Steadman into the corner. Now it's worth noting, just a few moments ago, look at Steadman's face. I mean, yeah, he is strong, he is determined, but there's a slight concern in his face. This is the deepest he has ever been in a match. And Tommy Hellfire, he is a big match competitor. It sounds like a cliche, it is, but it's like he is a big match competitor because he's been there for so long.
We saw it at that moment ago with that attempt of that honor handshake to begin the match. That fear, that hesitation within Owen Steadman. Hopefully that doesn't make its way into the match. Cost him this incredible opportunity to become PCW National Champion.
Hellfire has a lot of advantages, and we're seeing a couple of them at play here. There's the experience, there's the height, there's the size, there's the strength. Steadman is truly the underdog, and we're seeing it right now. Hellfire just controlling Steadman with the wrist lock. Steadman now, that agility, that talent that he learned in his training school over at Gippsland, courtesy of Andy Rhodes, a man who himself knows Tommy Hellfire very, very well. Trying to isolate that arm, and we're seeing the technique now that Owen Steadman has been known for, and oh, look at that, just sort of applying the pressure onto the shoulder to try and control the bigger man. And Hellfire, as mentioned, he's a slugger, he's a brawler, shots to the midsection and drives him down to the mat.
However, the upper hand that Owen will have is that expertise, that knowledge that comes at the hand of Andy, allowing him to almost sort of see through Tommy Hellfire, this confident persona that he has, his willingness to dismiss that younger generation. If anything, that gives Steadman an opportunity to peek through that, to see what Andy has seen.
Look at this, the strikes now into the chest cavity, and he is using his power, his strength, his experience to stay on top of Steadman. But Steadman there with a wild swing, that explosive offense that Steadman is known for. So like I said, yes, Steadman is the underdog, but we know he can do it. We saw it our last show, reaching the brass ring in a 6-man contest that Steadman had Tommy Hellfire and a cross armbar, and he was about to tap, possibly, if it wasn't for the interference of his tag team partners, the Black Diamonds. But now it's one-on-one, there's no one to tag in and out to, it's these 2 men. And without the chaos of 6 men, perhaps Tommy Hellfire can just control this contest all the way through. Stinging kicks there from Steadman.
Hellfire sends Steadman into the corner. I saw a flurry of forearms earlier from Steadman, unable to slow down Hellfire as he shoulder tackles the lower back of Owen.
Hellfire driving the shoulder into the spine and the big back suplex.
That height difference coming into a play, just dropping him from quite a substantial height. Now I don't have the sheet in front of me, Andy, but Tommy Hellfire, he's quite a large gentleman, 6'5" plus.
Well, indeed, yeah, he'll definitely be north of that, I would have thought.
To then be dropped from that height square onto your back.
Look at that, though, the strikes. This is it, the Gippsland Dragon with those strikes. It's what he's brought to the game, it's what he's known for, and he rocked Hellfire just enough. Yeah, a strike from Hellfire, just dropping him down. Goes for the cover. The outside leg is hot, it's tight, it's deep. but Steadman able to kick out, and it's a kick out at 2. So Hellfire's possibly made quite a bit of ground right here, and look at him, the reverse chin lock.
And that boot smacked the nose of Owen. From what we can see, a little bit of blood dripping out. What a powerful, forceful hit from Hellfire.
Yeah, I was going to say, both these guys, they're hard hitters, so I wouldn't be surprised if you might see the odd swollen eye or a couple of broken noses. So far, we've seen Hellfire focus his offense onto the back of Owen Steadman, which is an interesting choice, I have to say.
I was about to say, is there a tactical advantage here, Andy? Is it something that will impact Owen outside of his general ability to hold his core, kick out at 2?
Obviously, you hurt the back, it's difficult to pick up an opponent. Hellfire's already a large guy, but...
Because as two older gentlemen, we have back pain at the best of times.
Yeah, I try and pick up my daughter and I twist my knees, standing up off the sofa. But I think for Steadman, it's more that he's a heavy hitter, and he's got some big power moves. And if you keep working on that back, finally you hit a big enough power move, and before you know it, Steadman's not kicking out. And it's all about, as well, just keeping him winded to slow him down. But Steadman, going for those kicks, he's trying to keep Hellfire at a distance, and it is working. It's especially effective when you consider the reach that Hellfire has, and here's what I'm talking about, the big power offense. Hellfire might be going for a blue thunder bomb here. Oh, and swings him through, and Owen Steadman able to find some separation. The kick up, and the kick to the side of the head.
Ducks it. Drops it up with the boot. We mentioned momentarily that back, those shoulder muscles really important in those strikes, in those punches, be able to flow through. Cautionary decision potentially by Steadman to go with the legs, go with those strikes with the feet, removing some of that further impact on his shoulders potentially.
Steadman now back to his feet, a big right, and a receipt there from Tommy Hellfire.
The blood flowing out of the nose.
I was going to say, yeah, these are some big, heavy shots. Oh, look at that. He caught him right on the back of the head right there. And this is just becoming a big slugfest between the two competitors. And I'm not sure, but those strikes do seem to be aimed to the arms of Tommy Hellfire. I don't know if that's intentional.
Except for that kick right to the side of the face. The Hellfire attempts it.
Oh, look at that, just deadlifted him straight into a German suplex. And I can't deny it. I'm a man of simple taste, and when I saw Owen Steadman German suplex Adam Brooks, that's what I thought, I want this guy on my show. Goes for the cover, but a kick out there by Hellfire. But it wasn't a dominant kick out.
That was close.
Yeah, that wasn't a dominant kick out.
If I'm Hellfire, I'm a little bit rocked. I'm caught off my game. Yeah, let's watch that again. That slow release suplex.
I was going to say it was all technique, all power, all dropped onto the back of his head. And Hellfire, no doubt, feeling a little bit rocked right now. And this is giving Steadman the opportunity to recover, just to find a moment's breath for himself. And he's kissing the gun and shooting the bullet. And oh no!
Hellfire catches him.
Got him in a goozle, choke slam.
Massive choke slam, hooks the leg. Kick out at 2.
And it looked like the Hellfire was trying to hook both legs but wasn't quite able to get it. He certainly didn't have quite the right grip, and that could have been the difference between the kick out and not kicking out. However, Steadman is still alive in this contest, and even Hellfire is looking a little bit concerned that he wasn't able to get the 3 count here.
He thought he had it. Instead, our ref, Dylan McKay, throwing up the 2s. Steadman able to kick out. The crowd here at Ringwood firmly behind Steadman. Tommy sucks, I hear them say.
Well, he's calling for another goozle. He's looking to wrap his hand around the neck of Owen Steadman, but it's almost like Steadman's taking too long for him to get up. And look at this, defiant till the bitter end. Steadman with his fists closed and his arms raised.
Oh!
And Hellfire just finds this disrespect. He believed there was no grit, that there was no heart in the lad. And there it is, the cross arm bar! He said he was going to have him, and he's got him in the center of the ring. And his trainer, Andy Rhodes, knows that Hellfire is in trouble right now.
We saw it earlier, those kicks, those strikes to the arms of Hellfire. Could they be coming in? Is he cashing in those opportunities, those little moments earlier?
And as Hellfire's hands open, is the title slipping? But no, it looks like he might have caught him. Oh no, he's going to deadlift him up.
The strength of Hellfire drops Steadman down
into a huge power bomb. And that is the strength and power of Tommy Hellfire.
This is a man that is not a
Hang on! How's that for grit?
I was going to say, there's a reason this man is a two-time PCW National Champion.
Yeah, however, this could be the reason why Owen Steadman's about to become a one-time national champion. But sadly, the daddy long legs there of Tommy Hellfire reaching out and grabbing onto the bottom rope.
If you are Owen Steadman, all I can imagine that you are smelling right now is the iron of your own blood as it fills your nose.
Yeah, but you know what happens when a shark tastes blood?
That's what I was thinking. If anything, it's charged him up. He pulls the bow, pulls the string, calls the shot.
Huge running drop kick, and now just firing shots. Tommy Hellfire could be spent. He's an older gentleman. He's a heavier gentleman. And Owen Steadman has youthful exuberance and sort of that conditioning on his side. The reversal there from Hellfire. Hellfire falls through. The renowned Tommy combo coming out of the corner.
Drops down the mat, Steadman to his feet, ducks it once again.
Oh no, he caught him this time.
A little too fast.
Steadman going to the well once too often there. We saw that combination earlier on. Hellfire with a cover. 2. And
kick out at 2. Inching ever closer to 3. Let's watch that replay. Ducks it. Hellfire turns it around, sends him down.
Yeah, Hellfire was the quicker guy there. He pulled the trigger first. But look at Hellfire. You've got to believe this isn't the fight he was expecting. He's been telling everyone that the younger generation, they have no grit, heart, no determination. Yet here he is against Owen Steadman, who is the shining example that everyone else in the locker room as to what the future here in AUS Pro Wrestling has in store. And the current generation had better be ready.
Hold from Hellfire.
Hellfire in an act of desperation, going for the choke, and Steadman, Bazaiku knee, goes for the cover.
This could be it.
2, he's got no. Come on!
Milliseconds away. So close. We could have had the ability to call a new PCW National Champion. Owen Steadman could have brought it home for Gippsland. Instead, Hellfire, that ring awareness, that expertise, that years of knowledge, allowing him to grab that rope once again.
Steadman, could this be an act of desperation? He is certainly rolling the dice on this one. He is going up top, and unfortunately for him, Hellfire has recovered.
His kidneys drapes him across the rope, Andy.
Nothing good.
Hang on, this looks a little unorthodox.
If I know Tommy Hellfire, he is looking for something high impact to finish this off. He wants to kill this dead. And you saw that brief smile. He has it in the bag.
Or at least he believes he has it in the bag. We're not quite there yet. This does not end until someone counts to 3 or someone is willing to submit.
Steadman.
That is not Steadman. Blast those elbows into Tommy Hellfire's face.
I don't think there's any quit in the very soul of Steadman. It's why he's captured the imagination of so many people. And here it is, Owen Steadman, the national title. It's do or die. The Gippsland Dragon will fly. No!
Oh, nobody home. Nothing but mat for Steadman.
And Hellfire has been working on that torso, and you've got to think that it's just reverberating through the very skeleton now of Owen Steadman.
Whether it be the damage that he has received to the front, whether it be the damage to the back, Hellfire with a clear opportunity. Steadman though.
How is Steadman still alive?
This is the piss and vinegar. This is the younger generation, that desire, that motivation to do more, to see more, to be more.
Oh, look at this. Hellfire is pissed. The slaps, the forearm strikes. He just unceremoniously dumps him, and now in desperation,
that choke
in the rear naked choke. Dead center in the ring.
It's in deep.
And Hellfire is screaming, tap! He just wants it to be over.
Hang on, Owen's fading.
Come on.
He's fading, those eyes closing ever so slowly. That's 1.
2.
Dylan McKay, a referee,
That's
forced
it.
to call it.
Here is the winner by chokeout, and still the PCW National Champion, Tommy Hellfire!
Hellfire might be walking out with a championship, but you cannot deny Owen Steadman brought everything tonight. He brought everything. Every ounce of grit, every tear, every drop of blood. And he came so close, and you cannot deny it, Tommy. There are moments when you thought you were done.
Absolutely. Owen Steadman may not be returning to Gippsland with a belt across his shoulder, but he will be able to hold his head high proudly for the extent at which he went tonight against Tommy Hellfire. You said it just moments ago, little slivers of hope, little spots where Tommy could have easily lost that championship.
If Hellfire was just a few centimeters away from the rope, he might have tapped. If he was just a few moments away, he might have fallen to the Berserker knee. But tonight, Tommy Hellfire, the ultimate survivor, is going to walk out of the Central Ringwood Community Centre. But ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Owen Steadman, who walked into AUS Pro, a practical unknown, and then took the PCW National Champion to the utter limit.
However, still with that belt above his head, Tommy Hellfire continuing his reign as the PCW National Champion. Won it just recently. We mentioned earlier the runner-up earlier in the night. However, solidifying that reign as he pulls Andy aside.
He wants to stare one last time at his opponent here tonight.
Oh.
Steadman is demanding the handshake. He is demanding that handshake, and frankly, he has earned it.
Hellfire unwilling to oblige earlier. However, after the match that he just went through, what he experienced, how could he turn his back on a young man like Owen Steadman?
He's demanding it. He knows he is the future, and he knows he came very close. And there it is, he got the handshake!
It's a little bit, but it'll count.
The real winner here tonight, in some ways, is Owen Steadman. He walked in here an unknown, but he walked out the man, frankly, as far as I'm concerned. What an example for his generation. A big thank you to PCW for allowing their title to be defended here tonight, and also a big thank you for Andy Rhodes, who was able to come down all the way from Gippsland to support his young trainee in this huge moment.
And a big thank you to you for watching this at home, and a big thank you for everyone that turns up here at the Ringwood Community Centre for AUS Pro Wrestling's Generations. As I mentioned earlier, be sure to let us know your thoughts using the hashtag AUS Generations on your social media of choice.
And we are going to be back Saturday, September 13th, for Oz Pro Wrestling's new Star Rising, when we will crown our first ever Rising Star Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Lord Andy Coyne.
I've been Ryan Betson.
Thank you, and good night. Be with